Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show, the real home of progressives. Now, we're going to continue discussing Maui. That's the first story we're going to cover. You see here, it's just another photograph of the devastation in Maui. As it is right now, 96 people are dead, and the number is expected to rise. There's a lot of talk about what caused it and what we should do in the future. But the fact is, climate change is still a major factor in many of these fires. There's already a class action lawsuit being started against Hawaiian Electric. I believe it's the name of the company, because they believe that it's potential that them cutting corners led to this massive fire. Now, it is very possible that something they did led to it, or anything, right? Even a lightning strike could set off a powder keg. People can sit there and say it's not climate change, it's this or that. But there's no way that a fire could spread so rapidly and cause so much destruction so quickly if not for the exceedingly dry conditions on the ground. So it's obvious that there is some part of climate change in play here. Because, yeah, Hawaii's had wildfires before, but nothing like this. In fact, this is one of the worst, if not the worst, wildfire to occur in the U.S. since almost 100 years ago. Now, people have already been requesting, like Jason Momoa and stuff like that, have said, hey, please do not come to Maui. Cancel your plans if you're going. Now, I don't know anybody that has the money to go to Hawaii. But I can tell you right now, if I had the money and had plans and I could cancel and get my money back, I would definitely cancel those plans. You're being asked by the people of the island, please do not come here. So don't go there. And these, wildfires are crazy. We had some here in Oklahoma last year, and they were bad. They weren't this bad. They didn't cause, massive loss of life. But of course, just like any kind of tragic situation in the U.S., capitalism has run amok. Because before these people even have a chance to mourn their losses, or they're dead, or the loss of their family homes, some of them possibly lived in for you know generations. You already have realtors and corporations contacting people that have lost their homes and lost everything, saying, "Hey, we'll buy your property from you." Hawaii is already in a massive, massive mess when it comes to trying to balance tourism with everyday residents of the island. Hawaii is already one of the most expensive places to be in, within the U.S. And it's also because rent, you're pricing people out of rent, all because we want Airbnb type things, right? Corporations go in, they buy up multiple houses, and then use them as B&B for tourists, right? Have you ever thought of what that does to the local residents? Not only does it jack the price up, on the value of their property, to the point that their apartments or their houses, they can't afford the rent anymore if they have rent. And things like this, or things like th that, are only making things like the fire worse. They already had a shortfall of some 10,000 homes for people in the state of Hawaii. And now they have more. Thousands of people have lost their homes. They have no place for the tourists. So if you have plans to go to Maui, don't. But to hear that people are trying to make money off these people after they've just lost everything, now I have no doubt that the people of Hawaii will find a way to rebuild. I have no doubt in the resiliency of the people of Hawaii. The people of Hawaii have been through a lot, over the generations. From the way we forcefully took Hawaii to, economic struggles of the everyday person on the islands. They've been through a lot. And they'll push through like they always do. But if you have any information on what's actually going on the ground, please let me know. These people don't deserve what's going on to them. They don't deserve any of this. And they definitely don't deserve corporations and greedy sons of bitches preying on them at their most vulnerable points. It's absolutely disgusting. I hope more people, more celebrities that are from the island or have lived on the island do more to be supportive. All the information I'm getting for the most part is coming from the Pride of Gypsies account, Jason Momoa over on Instagram. And I did see that The Rock is trying to get the word out to get more people to donate to help and things like that. I hope he's doing some of his own stuff because I believe these people that have the money, if you have money and you could help people, I think you should. If I was wealthy, I would be sending money to them to help. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't. But I'm glad to see people like The Rock and Jason Momoa, huge celebrities, stepping up to the plate and saying, "Hey, let's get some help here." And Jason Momoa, he's from the island, right? I've learned a lot about the island and what they've been through and what, the US did to them. Because he brought my eyes to, the plight of some of the stuff going on in Hawaii. All because of videos I've seen of him discussing it, right? Or him talking about the island, me doing history, researching history. The things that have happened to Hawaii, they don't deserve. And they definitely don't deserve to be preyed on at their most vulnerable. But like I said, 96 people are dead. We believe the electric company there is very possibly to blame for the start of the fire, and climate change is clearly to blame for the tinderbox that Maui became and how quickly that fire spread. It's absolutely been devastating to the island. Maui is just, it won't be the same. An entire historic city was burned to the ground. People lost everything, but they'll recover. And by God, with the stuff that we have done to that island, by allowing the corporations to move in like we're doing, by, forcing their leader, to abdicate her throne under the guise of, oh, we're going to kill everybody if you don't. Look it up. It happened. Our government better open up its pocketbook and say, we will help. I do not want to see one Republican, one Democrat, one anybody saying we're not going to help Hawaii. I don't want to hear it from one person. I can guarantee you when I hear that coming from some of those conservatives out there, because I'm pretty sure no Democrat is going to say something like that. But if I start hearing Republicans hemming and hawing about getting aid to Hawaii, you can bet we will talk about it here on the Big Ranch Show. To the people of Hawaii, I'm sorry this has happened. I know y'all are strong people, and I know you will recover greater than ever. Just don't let these corporations bully you into giving up your land. There's no reason for it. There is no reason for them to be preying on you right now. And I'm sorry they're doing that. It's absolutely disgusting. Now, in other news, we have a big bombshell out of Georgia. Big bombshell about the Trump administration, his lawyers, and him trying to subvert the election. According to the district attorney in Fulton County, or I think Fulton County is that it, in Georgia, where they are about to indict him for a fourth time, this time involving the subversion portion of what he did after the election in 2020. It's come to light that they have emails, letters, and text messages proving that the Trump camp, the Trump lawyers, and maybe even Donald Trump himself, among other people, were part of an attempt to breach the voting data in a county in Florida or in Georgia where Trump won by 70%. One of many of the big bombshells we've seen over the last few months involving what happened after the 2020 election. Donald Trump and his co-conspirators tried to hack into data, basically, that somebody in the got a sympathizer within the county to basically just let them in so they could try to find data to prove that Trump won, even though he lost. It's absolutely disgusting to think that people are doing this. We're okay with this. Meanwhile, Trump was sitting there claiming that the Democrats defrauded the election, committed fraud in the election so he would lose. Yet he's the one that is sitting there trying to break into the voting data just prior to January 6th. Donald Trump should never be allowed to be president. There's actually some conservative legal experts and constitutional experts that do not believe Donald Trump should even be allowed to be running for president because of his connection to the January 6th revolt. They believe because of that insurrection and him being the de facto leader of that insurrection, that he should be automatically barred from being able to run for president. Because there is the third section of the 14th Amendment that says that somebody that's been involved in an insurrection against the federal government of the United States cannot run for office. Now, I know some people say, well, he hasn't been convicted. That's not what the clause says. The clause in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment just says somebody that has been involved in the insurrection against the federal government of the United States cannot seek federal office. Doesn't say they must be convicted. Just says they have to be involved in. And of course, Trump is sitting there claiming now that, oh, we need to push this off until after the election. But the fact is, the reason he wants to do that is so all the federal cases can go away. Because if he is elected president, in 2024, he would go through and have every single investigation into him and his allies thrown out. I'm one of those people that I don't care what party you're from. If that you did something illegal, investigate it. I don't care who you are. Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, Obama. I don't care. That's not the kind of person I am. I'm not somebody that picks and chooses, right? That's not what we do here. And I don't believe that's what our government should be doing. I don't think he should have the right to be able to shut down investigations into himself. I don't think any president should have that right. And yet, you know, we have this problem where he wants to become president so he can stop all the investigations and trials. Honestly, I believe all these trials need to hurry up and take place. That way we can have it done, out of the way, and we know what's going on. So the American public can know whether or not he is a convicted felon before they vote for him. Now, on to a case that's going to just piss most people off. This is 12-year-old Tayshawn from Lansing, Michigan. The other day, his father, Michael, was washing up dishes after dinner and said, "Hey, can you please go take the trash out?" Tayshawn, being a good kid, says, "Okay," and does just that. He goes and takes the trash out. And as you see right there, Tayshawn is in handcuffs because he took the trash out. His crime was taking the trash out. Now, their argument, the police claim that, oh, well, he matched the description of an adult suspect. No, he doesn't. You can tell right there in that picture. He looks nothing like an adult. He looks nothing like an adult. Tayshawn's just a 12-year-old kid taking out the trash for his father. Did they bother to take him to his dad and figure out what the hell's going on? Go knock on his door and find out what's going on? No. No, they did not. The Lansing Police Department decided that they would handcuff this child and speak to him without his parents present. In what has to be a violation of his constitutional rights as a minor. His father, after noticing that his son hadn't come back in a while, got concerned, so he went outside. And that's when he saw that his son was in handcuffs. And then they had the nerve to place him into a squad car while the father was sitting there talking to one of the other police. Finally, some other officers arrived and like, "Oh, my bad." But that's not enough. Wrongful detention? Abuse of a minor? Trying to interrogate a kid without his parents present or even knowledgeable of what's going on? You can look at this kid and tell he's not an adult. Yeah, he's tall, but he's not big. When are we going to stop this, America? When are we going to stop arresting or trying to arrest young black men for no reason? When are we going to stop arresting black people just because they're there? You tried to arrest a 12-year-old boy for no reason, Lansing. And I hope that your department is sued. Luckily, this child survived. Luckily, the police did not murder him like they do all those others. Luckily, Tayshaun gets to go home to his family. But how quickly could this have gone from kid taking his trash out to shot dead by police? That's what terrifies me. That's what scares me. It's absolutely despicable. Now, the police chief has apologized, and that's great. You can apologize all you want, but it doesn't make it right. It doesn't fix what you did. I'm hoping that something will at least be done. The officers that responded to that call and decided to, put handcuffs on this kid, they should be terminated. The police chief should be terminated. They said he matched the description of somebody that had been stealing cars in the area. But they were looking for an adult, not a child. So to Tayshaun and his father Michael, I'm sorry, this shit happened. It's something that should have never happened. Anyways, this has been the Big Ranch Show, and I'll see you down the road.